A very good morning to you all. Jack, come back out. Come on. thinks he's coming in to laze about. You can sit out here for a little while, Jack. He wants to go for a wee run. So it's a beautiful morning here at Bealtaine Cottage. We've had snow again, which seems to be the order of the day every day at the moment. We have snow in the morning and then it clears up, and the afternoon is usually beautiful with blue skies. There's a blue sky starting to emerge up there. Reading through some of the comments on yesterday's travel video that I posted up, which by the way takes a long time to post up. I don't know if I'm going to get the opportunity to post the rest of them. I took made another 3 videos on my trip to Belfast, but it means sitting around in internet cafes for ages in order just to get that uploaded from my phone. So I may have to just leave those where they are on the phone until I get a chance, and then they'll be out of context. So there's very little I can do. I'm sorry, folks. The internet coverage for me, as I will say again, is my mobile hotspot, which leaves me somewhat disabled in terms of being able to, put up all these lovely videos. Anyway, yesterday I made some of my lovely bread. I'm just going to bring you into the cottage and show you my very tasty and lovely bread. Just close this door. I'll just push it to. There we go. Oh, kicking my slippers about the place. Got some shopping on the table there. We'll just ignore that. I got the Eco Mill. Look at this. Right, but look at the price of it. $16.95. It's not that good in tea. In fact, I wouldn't even recommend it for tea. It seems to curdle. I'm going to use it just for banana and green smoothie type shakes. I haven't spent that much money, or I think actually wasted that much money. Huge amount of money. $16.95, $15.95. Anyway, here's my lovely homemade bread, which didn't cost me anything like that at all. So this is my look at this for a beautiful bread. It's got pumpkin seeds in it, and sesame seeds, and sunflower seeds, and it's absolutely delicious. Delicious. So that recipe, by the way, is in the little book, The Bealtaine Cottage Guide to the Deep Midwinter. So I had that with homemade almond butter. I've just reused the jar because I make this almond butter in my Magimix. So it's just pure almonds, nothing else. So the bread is very tasty. My shopping yesterday, I got some more sunflower seeds, and I got some yeast, and I love these Engevita yeast flakes. Taste just like cheese, especially when you sprinkle them on baked potatoes. So I'm going to just try and keep to very simple, good homemade foods, and not get too convoluted when it comes to what I eat. So I think eating good, well made, with good ingredients, simple food is the best way to go. Now, we go back outside. So I've already been outside this morning with my coffee. Jack and I have gone for a little walk. Lots of bird song. just walk over this way. Jack. He's funny. No. Here, Jack. He's got his little squeaky bum. No, signs of spring, signs of spring. Well, for a start, that sun feels quite warm on my back. I think that's the first time this year now that I've just felt the warmth of the sun on my back. The ground is still a little bit frozen over here. There's the rhubarb. Doesn't seem to mind the snow and the frost. That's coming up all right. And this little part of the fairy wood always stays quite frost-free and snow-free. I think because of all the ivy. Someone did say to me on one of those travel videos, the tree on the side of the road, it's very green. Is that ivy? If you see a green tree here in Ireland, it's usually ivy that's on it. Unless, of course, it's obviously an evergreen. But then you'd recognise that. The badger set. Also, I had to laugh. One of you left a comment underneath the video and you referred to Ireland as a socialist republic. I think this can be a wee bit confusing for those of you who are from the United States of America or from Australia maybe, or no, maybe not so much Australia, the United States of America. Ireland is not a socialist republic. We actually have a very conservative government because at the moment we have Fine Gael, the political party that has the overall mandate to govern at the moment. Fine Gael is led by our Taoiseach, Leo Varadkar. Oh, by the way, Leo Varadkar is an openly gay man. Isn't that lovely? That we have that much, you know, just wonderful openness now coming into Ireland. I'm very proud to live here. But Leo Varadkar would not describe Ireland as a socialist republic. If by socialism you mean that we have social housing, that's not socialism. That's called, you know, living as a nation, that we look after our people. And the same with our schooling system and our education system. It is free for those who cannot pay, and for those who can afford a bit more, then it kind of rises incrementally, I think, you know, with your income. But it certainly wouldn't be described as a socialist republic. We would have to have a different government to have a socialist republic. This is very much the same in the UK. So, for example, in the UK at the moment, there's a Conservative government led by Theresa May, and that's very much a conservative governing party, and so they are not socialist. If Jeremy Corbyn, who leads the Labour Party, was to become Prime Minister, then it would be regarded as socialist with a small s, and the Labour Party would implement policies which are more favourable towards those who are less well off. And by the way, that's the majority of people. So when we're talking democracy, the majority of people should be very much included within all government policy. But I think the word socialist is now, perhaps I'm wrong in this, but from conversations I've had, it would appear that the word socialist is used almost like a scaremongering word. Am I right or am I wrong? I don't know. Within the context of American society. So for example, how would I describe myself? Well, I would describe myself, and I'm not really political, but I do believe in looking after everybody within the country. I do believe in caring for the land, and quite specifically refusing to have any corporation govern any aspect of life here in Ireland. And I would be very adamant about that. I am very much against the corporate interference, because corporate interference is, by its very definition, fascism. So when I see, like for example, someone said in one of the comments, oh, you don't seem to have too many billboards there, advertising boards. And you can't go more than whatever it is, a couple of miles and you get a big advertising board here in America. Well, you see, here in Europe, there are laws that govern the size of advertising boards. And corporations are only allowed to put up a certain size of an advertising board, and then they have to have planning permission for that. And the planning permission comes from the local council or the local government or the central government. Lobbyists are kept very much, and I'm talking corporate lobbyists, are very much frowned upon. And we as people lobby our government representatives. And if there's any sniff at all of corporate lobbying, that's usually very much frowned upon. Though I'm quite sure it goes on. But when it is exposed on social media or exposed in the mainstream media, then it usually is a big story. So, again, that kind of word socialist is I wouldn't hold it in the same context as what it is regarded in America. So that's just a very interesting difference in language, the language that we use. So another example would be most people who want to be seen as progressive and caring and compassionate would describe themselves loosely as being socialist. So I would say, yes, I have a socialist view of life. I'm not averse to paying taxes in order that everybody has some kind of good standard of living. And again, there would be people who would say, oh yes, but that system's abused, blah, blah, blah. But the system is abused all the way up the line. And in fact, the most abuse happens at the very top, as we found out during the banking crisis of 2008. You know, where you have not just millions of euros, pounds or dollars, stolen by banks. You have billions, and in some cases trillions. Well, it would take an awful lot of people an awful long time abusing an awful lot of the system to get those figures. So, yeah, I would describe myself as a socialist within the context of I am quite proud to pay tax in order for everyone to be cared for. So, yeah. But it's very interesting, isn't it? Just you know, with people commenting, and you kind of get some very interesting insights firsthand on perspectives and different countries and how different those systems can be. So anyway, there we go. I've blathered on now for long enough. So I'm going to go in now and I'm going to light the stove and yeah. So have a beautiful day, everybody. Have a beautiful evening wherever you are. I'm going to pay a visit to the garden centre, I think, later, and want to get a nice. I may just treat myself to a nice new plant to go into that big blue pot there, because you know that I've moved the plant that was in it, that lovely New Zealand flax, into the old fire pit. So yeah, I think I'll do that. Now, blessings to you all.